Many of our posts this season have highlighted colorwork patterns and techniques, particularly focusing on mosaic slip stitches and intarsia. Therefore, it seems only fitting to include Fair Isle among them, effectively covering the complete trio of colorwork methods. Fair Isle is a technique where stitches are worked in alternating colors, with the unused color being carried or stranded across the back of the work. These strands are known as floats. Typically, Fair Isle patterns are worked using only 2 colors per row. While the term Fair Isle specifically refers to the distinctive patterns originating from the Shetland Islands, it is often used more generically to describe any form of stranded knitting. Although these intricate designs may seem intimidating, they are relatively easy to create. Many knitters prefer the two-handed method of Fair Isle knitting, which I find to be more efficient, especially when catching long floats. More on that in a moment. However, if this method doesn't work for you, picking up each color individually while dropping the one not in use might work better for you. Ultimately, you should choose the method that feels right for you. Patterns featuring longer stretches of a single color may appear easier, but they can be more complex. When the unused yarn spans across these larger color blocks, it creates a longer float that is more likely to be snagged by fingers, particularly on sleeves. You'll need to catch these floats, but diving into the specifics of float catching is a discussion for another time. One common issue with Fair Isle knitting is the puckering of stitches. If you pull the next color too tightly into position, the float won't have enough yarn to allow the span stitches to lie flat. I recommend keeping the span stitches separated with your thumb until you've worked the first few stitches of the next color. This method works wonders. A small degree of puckering is normal in stranded knitting, but it will beautifully relax when steam blocked. Therefore, it is imperative to use natural fibers. This is a perfect excuse for me to segue into a brief discussion about blocking. I have noticed an uptick in knitters who are wet blocking everything. I do not know why this is happening. Maybe influencers are pushing wet blocking off as a thing to do, and naturally, I have a few thoughts about this. Ask yourself this: is the fiber synthetic? Is it dirty? Does the piece need to stretch significantly to size? If not, stop wet blocking. These are the only 3 scenarios that come to mind where wet blocking is warranted. For most synthetic fibers, wet blocking is indeed the only option. Steam can melt them. Without it, it won't set properly, making synthetics less than ideal for lace, Fair Isle, and other similar projects. If the piece is dirty, it simply needs washing, which isn't exactly wet blocking. We call that laundering. It will still need to be steam blocked afterward. You don't need to block it after every wash, just during the first time. For items that require significant stretching to size, like Dando's plant fiber creations, fully submerging in water and stretching with wires, followed by steam blocking, is necessary. So actually, synthetic fibers are really the only instance I would wet block. And since I avoid synthetics, I can't remember ever needing to truly wet block anything. Steam is what sets the piece, so be cautious about overstretching. Once you set it with steam, it won't revert. I will include a link to our tutorial on blocking in today's post. Now I will step off my wet blocking soapbox and pivot back to Fair Isle. A fantastic beginner Fair Isle project is the Ribbledon Cowl and Moorbrook Hat by Arnie and Carlos. This matching set is knit using Rowan felted tweed with the pattern available in Rowan Magazine 76. Both pieces are knitted in the round, allowing you to focus solely on knit stitches.